Hello everybody. Today we're working on this amplifier. It's a no-name brand amplifier, so let's just call it the Big Nasty. Why? Because it looks like it. Looks like it would tear some cheddar cheese up is what I'm thinking. There is no name brand on this amplifier inside or out. There's no real markings. There is a number on the back written in ink. Other than that, no identifiers. Was able to find a couple of photos that look like it. One of them is called Foot Warmer and the other one escapes my mind. In a previous video where I asked for F1, a lot of you guys responded and was very helpful. To that I say thank you very much. Your help is definitely needed and your expertise is never wasted. I always try to learn from you the best. I asked in regards to the control switch here, which we're missing here, which is out of there. It's not missing, it's in my hand. Anyway, so I asked help for this as this one is damaged and I just couldn't figure this out. I was able to figure out a value, sort of, but not really. So I ordered this one. Thought fantastic. We got the shaft here, and we won't have to worry about this one because the shaft had fallen off, and my attempts at trying to repair it, both the shaft and the fins, did not work. I was, however, very successful in crazy gluing this together, and now it's fixed real good. I'm sure if I soak that in acetone, break that free, I can get this working. But even if I did that, the top fins, they fall out. So, and one of them had broken off. So I bought this one in hopes that it would work. And even though the value measured out to what I think was that one, this did not work. I would definitely like to give a big shout out to three of you, particularly Jim Codez. He says he had a stack of these and offered them up. Find one that works and ship him back the rest. And that was awfully kind to him. Unfortunately, Jim, there was no way to contact you. You said to PM you, but if you're referring to YouTube's private messaging, they got rid of that several years ago, and there's no email contact information on your YouTube page, so unsuccessful in reaching out to you. Did leave a reply on your message, though, and no response. I'd also like to thank Bob Gibbons. Many of you, if you watch Doug Moslack's channel, you'll find that he's very active over there. He was kind enough to help me behind the scenes through email, and definitely a wealth of knowledge, and thank you very much. I do appreciate your help, Bob. Bob said that even though this may measure out to that same value, it's not going to work. Said that due to the fin size and the air gaps spacing, that it's just not going to work. Two different applications. So I guess the size of the fins and the air gap comes into play. Maybe you need a more heavier, I don't know, ain't gonna guess, but de nada. I'd also like to thank Lucky Larry and Crazy Mary. He too said he had one that was about the same value that I measured. One other thing, Bob was saying that he thinks that this may be a smaller value than what I measured because the plates were all goofed up. I was probably getting a false reading. because I did put a smaller capacitor in here, and it does work, but not up to par. Not sure exactly what I'm supposed to get out of this, 300 watts maybe, and I'm not. Anyway, so Larry sent me this one, complete with shaft, and he said that it measured out to about 150, 160 picofarad, about what I believe I measured off of this one. So in today's video, we're going to put this in and test this out and see if this indeed does or does not work. Here in what we have set up for testing at the moment is we have a Turner Plus 3 amplified microphone. This was a Hamfest purchase a couple Hamfests ago. We have and this is probably from the mid-70s. We have a Browning LTD, which is also from about 1976. This is a 23-channel sideband radio. And then we have a pair of three-way Radio Shack meters. They sold those in the 70s and the 80s, so I'm not sure exactly how old that is. So we're going to use this for our test. Yes, this might not be as accurate as my Bird meters, but I'm going to run with this because it offers watts, modulation, and SWRs. With our watts, we can check out 5, 50, and 500 watts. With my Bird, I only got 2 slugs. I think one is 10 watts and the other one is 500 watts. Even though this is not as accurate as the Bird, it's close enough, and for our testing, this is going to work out just fine. Furthermore, off to the side, out of camera view, this radio and amplifier is going through my MFJ automatic antenna tuner. It does have a built-in power meter, and that will a built-in analog and digital power meter, so I can get a reference off of that as well. We are going through the antenna that I have set up, which is a 75-foot wire wrapped around the house, and that's why I'm running the antenna tuner. So for testing purposes, a base reference to see where we're at. Let's measure the radio here on AM, and then we'll also take it on sideband. Okay, first we're going to try it out in AM. We're on the 5-watt scale here. I've already calibrated my modulation and my SWRs for this channel. We are on channel 15. And my microphone is up about 3/4 of the way, so I can get optimal drive, but yet splatter not too bad. So in your point of view, it looks like you're getting about 3 watts. And looking at the antenna tuner, it's showing 2.0 watts. Let's switch this over to sideband. And in order for sideband to work, you have to modulate. And I just put this up on the 50-watt scale. I'm about 2 to 3 inches away from the microphone. Audio, audio, test, audio, 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 audio. Audio, audio, test, test. Can't see the meter too well, but it looks like it's doing about 8 watts. Audio, test, test. Theoretically, the way how you want to test sideband is hook it up to your audio generator and put a two-tone signal in there. I apologize, I'm not set up at this moment for that. So we're just going to have to take my voice impression for testing. Now, I tried to whistle. I unfortunately cannot whistle. So, due to a medical issue, I cannot whistle anymore. So that's the best I could give you. So that looked like it swung to about 10 watts from what I saw. Anyway, let's go ahead and kill this test. Okay, so next we're going to fire up the amplifier and take a reading with what I have. I think I have a 56 picofarad capacitor in here in place of the cheese slicer. So we're going to turn this on. You're going to hear the fan kick in, so we'll probably get a little noise. And we're going to wait a few seconds, about 30 seconds, for this to warm up. This is a tube type device. There are 3 tubes in here for the driver. And I'm not sure what the expected output power is. Now, I have no documentation on this device. So if you have a sales brochure, or better yet, a owner's manual or a service manual, which would be awesome, please pass it on and let me know. Whether it's for free or for a fee, I'm okay either way. It would be really awesome to have a service manual for this. I do not know what my expected input wattage is supposed to be, let alone my output wattage. So I try not to drive it too terribly hard, but I find that one of my other radios drives this pretty good. Pretty good. All right, so I think that's warmed up long enough, good enough. Haven't used the amplifier in a little bit, so we should be on par. I'm going to turn my microphone gain down. What's going to happen is when I transmit on AM, I need to put this on AM, you're going to see this meter move. This is labeled DC milliamps, and don't know how accurate it is. The point of all this is you're supposed to adjust the tune and the load for the frequency that you're on, and you're supposed to peak this so you have peak performance on the watt meter. Or, I'm sorry, not on the watt meter, but on the radio. The watt meter don't care what kind of performance you have. The radio does. Got the audio down, however, it's still a hot microphone. Have the amplifier set to a minimum on 1. And when I throw this switch, this is operate, we will be able to transmit the amplifier. As you see, we have no significant change in our wattage there. Let me go ahead and put this on the 50 watt scale. Put the microphone back just a little so you get the meter in frame more. Alright, so we're going into operate mode. We're going to throw a DC. For those that are not into radio, a DC is a dead carrier. So we are now transmitting, and you see we do have audio, even though my audio gain is down. It's showing roughly 20 watts with a little swing. Keep in mind, I'm about a good foot and a half away from the microphone. Really good. So let me shut up for just a moment and let me tune this here. The power meter, before I make any adjustments, is showing about 16 watts on the antenna tuner. So it looks to be about right there is maximum on this frequency. And we are now up to 21 watts. Let me adjust SWRs, my modulation. And my SWRs. When you increase power, of course everything is increasing. Makes a change. Okay. Now let's go ahead and go to sideband. And now I need to put this on sideband. Again, I'm about a foot away or more from the microphone. Foot and a half. Audio. 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 Audio, audio, test, test, test. Keep in mind, the microphone gain is all the way down, and we're still on low power of the amplifier. Test, test, and you see that thing pegging the 50 watt scale. Let me look at the meter. Audio. Audio, 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 having a hard time seeing it, but it looks like it says 33 watts. So let me turn up the mic gain a little. So now we're right here. Audio, test, 1, 2, 1, 2. You see that's pegging that really well. Switched it up to the 500 watt scale. Audio, audio, and you can see audio swing, according to that, swinging all the way up to about 300. Audio, audio, audio. Digital meter saying about 140 watts. Now I'm going to save time, and we're going to go straight to highest power. Let's go back to AM, turn our microphone down, go to AM. We're on the 500 watt scale. And that says about 180 watts. Let me look at the digital. The digital is saying 142 watts. Let's turn our mic gain up just a little bit to where we were last go around. Audio, 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 audio. Audio, audio, audio. I've seen it peak at about 210. Let's go ahead and go to sideband. Microphone, let's turn the microphone all the way down. Audio, 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 test, audio. Audio, audio, audio. So it looked like it 150, 200 watts. Let me see on the digital. Audio, audio, audio. Hello, test, test. 100 and something. Couldn't make it out. I'm in a bad location to see the meter. Need to increase that meter up. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn our mic gain up to here where we normally are going, and let's see what happens. So about 50 to 75 watts just of background noise. Audio, audio, audio. So that's 300 to 400 according to that meter. And looking at the digital meter, audio, 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 test, test. According to that, that looks to be about 200. I think I saw a peak of 250, but around 210 on an average. So, audio, test, 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 test. So I'm not sure what type of meter is in that, if it's average or if it's peak. Same with this. I don't know if this is average or if it's peak. We'll have to put the bird on to confirm. The bird, I believe, is an average meter. So, fantastic. I have the capacitor hooked up to my Syncor back there so we can take a measurement to see what we get. I have it all the way closed. And so it's 121 picofarad. I was touching it, and as we saw, it was changed its value. So as soon as I put it down, it was stable. So let's go ahead and open this all the way up. So we have it open. I'm going to set that down and retest. So about 50 picofarad. And here you could see the antenna tuner just a little bit that I was trying to look at. And you can see it's kind of challenging for me to see. I need to readdress that, make it easier. I've let the amplifier cool down for about 15-20 minutes now. And so I'm going to go ahead and perform the work. Unfortunately, I'm going to do this on my own without you. I'm pretty confident I can mess it up just fine without you. But I wanted to bring you in and show you the area that I'm working in and why I'm not going to be able to film this. You're going to be in the way. Your big head's going to be in my way. So this is the capacitor that I put in line. We're going to unweld that. And this grounding, can't see it, but originally it was about here. So I need to move that back, and then I need to solder that in line and mount that in place. I'll probably mount this in place and then do all the work or something like that. Either way, let me complete the job at hand and we will get back to you. But before doing that, wanted to show you the tube configuration that this device has. I don't remember the numbers right off the top of my head. I'll put them here on the screen right now. If by chance you know what I'm supposed to get wattage wise out of each one of these, that would be swell. The few boxes that I've seen on this, they're saying they're getting about 300 watts out. I don't know. I would like to know that information. Let me come back after the work is completed, and then we'll test again. Have the control in place finally. That was a bit of a chore to get in there. On the new one, the grounding tab was up top. And I needed to swing it to the side, and by doing that you had these fingers right here that wasn't exactly clearing the post, so I had to get in there with one of these and course it on down, and then one of the fingers got locked into here and had to pick that out, and Finally got it. Hopefully I didn't damage it. I don't think I did, but we will soon find out here in just a moment. Do have the device plugged in, have the case sitting on top for safety measures. And what will happen if the plates are grounding to one another, this thing's going to grunt and groan. Shouldn't blow up, but it's not going to be happy. And that should only be in the transmit mode. Have this set in neutral position. Let me go ahead and turn the power switch, main switch on, so this becomes hot, and then we could turn it on. Okay, that has been done. This is now energized. As soon as we throw this switch, this will come alive. We're back on channel 15 over here. Nothing has changed. Put this on the 50 watt scale. Low scale, AM, AM. Now I did want to say that since this is the CB band, also known as 11 meters, CB stands for Children's Band. You're only limited, you're only authorized by the Federal Communications Commission of 4 watts AM and 12 watt sideband. So using a power amplifier is illegal. So when we're using this, just keep in mind that because we're on CB and not ham band, that it now becomes milliwatts, not watts. That's Southern logic. Don't wrap your head around it. You'll get lost. Let's go for broke. Wish this had a power indicator in it. It don't. That may be a future upgrade. I might have put a scratch in it. We'll give this a few moments to warm up. A few times I found myself turning this on and immediately hitting the mic button, and I got to pause. Stop doing that. Okay, we're in the standby position. Make sure we're still working here. The modulation control on the microphone, the mic gain is turned low. And you see that we're still at our, the antenna tuner is now saying we're at 2.8 watts, so I don't know. All right. Do we feel brave? Put that at the 50 watt scale. Turn this on. I'm going to do a quick bump to see what happens. Oh, that's good. And that's not good. Nothing. Okay. And looking at the antenna tuner analog meter on it, I don't see any movement. The digital one is also not changing. Bummer. A little movement. Audio, audio. Audio, audio, audio. Test, test, test. Audio, audio. Yep. Well, that's a real bummer. Not working. If we grab the capacitor that I had in line, as soon as I find it, we will test it. Oh, it's right in front of me. And then we'll get the value off of that. So about 62 picofarads is what I had in there, and we saw that that worked. So I don't understand why the replacement's not working. It was very similar to the old one. The only difference is this old one is just slightly longer than the new one. But I don't know. Okay, well, that's all we have for you in this video. Appreciate you watching and all that good stuff. We'll catch you in the next one. Take care.